Hello, welcome. What we're going to do right now is we're just going to do some tweaking to this ad to make it look a little bit better as well. I'm going to show you how to hand it in. So this ad, I see that it's just floating on an 8.5 by 11 page, but in the last lesson I told you the wrong size. I said 7.5 by 4.5. It's actually 7.5 and 5, but I think that I've resized it. No, I haven't. So let's resize it. So let's move this up on the page. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to take this and just going to make that 5 inches. So now that box is 7.5 by 5, and I'm going to do the same thing to this one, so I know everything is perfect, because I like it when things are perfect. So I know that that is the right size, and so that allows me to go in and just tweak this image a little bit to just make it a little bit more, give it things some breathing room. I actually get to go in and make this title. Unselect that, thank you. I can actually afford to make this title just a little bit bigger, and I can play with this type here, which is actually what I really want to do. Let's zoom in, and first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to line up this type with this type, and a nice way of doing that is going into the normal view, and just going to, these are my rulers along here. I can actually pull a guideline from them. I can grab onto it, and I'm dragging over a guideline. And so that means that I can take this element here and I can nudge it over so it lines up with that guideline there too. So that way I know that when I'm in my preview mode, then that is like one straight line. Things are lining up good. So I'm going to move that down. Okay, now I want to just make my information a little bit more legible. And I don't mean easy to read, I mean I want to make it, I want to sort the information out so when you look at it you can digest the information a little bit more easily. So really what I'm going to do, you could do a couple of things. Like I could take these headlines, like the titles, and I could like make them bigger, and I could make them bolder so that sticks out. But actually I think that in this case the information isn't as important as this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it smaller, and then I'm going to highlight that and make that smaller. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now that is still separated from this. The other thing is that I want to separate the information here. Like say if you look at the poster, you'll see that I use some lines to divide it up. So like you've got your wheres and when. And then you've got your where, and then you've got how to buy. And those things are divided up, so you can just look at it and just kind of get the information in chunks, rather than one great big chunk. Now, rather than just doing the lines, and I could do the lines just like I did in the poster, I'm just going to just do visual space. So I'm going to increase the line spacing. So I'm going to if I were to double click, or if I were to triple click, it selects a whole paragraph, and there's a return there, so it looks like a paragraph. So I'm going to go to my line spacing, which is this guy. It's called leading. I'm just going to increase that a little bit, and then I'm going to go to this one. That went up to 23, so 6 more points there, and there, we're good there. Okay. So I've kind of separated that information a little bit. The other thing I want to do is make the phone number big, because that's very important. But it's just my own little thing. I don't really think that people can just glance at 519 and know that easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase just this part. I did the same thing in the poster. And then now I kind of created a problem because this is crowded right here. So I will highlight this, and this is called baseline shift, this guy right here. The bottom of your line is called the baseline, and I'm going to shift it down right about there. Okay, so I've got that. And I'm going to go Alt, right arrow, just add a little space there. Okay, so that's working a little bit better for me. I think actually there's a little cheat too. I'm just going to select both those lines and increase them just one more little bit there. Okay, so now let's actually do a couple things. I'm just going to increase this there so that goes in between those two words there. I think that's a little cleaner looking. I don't like, actually, to tell you the truth, if I was doing this for a real job, I would probably find a way to extend this background way over to the left, so it would be all the way in the background. But actually what I am going to do is just do a quick little drop shadow here so you can see this little bit here. So let's select that, right click, go Effects, Drop Shadow. And then we're just going to go, actually the numbers are actually quite large by default. So I'm just going to go 0.03. And I'm doing that because I know that 1.5. I actually know 0.015, and then this one, you can't really see it because the blur is just so huge. Let's make that 0.015. Oh, invalid? Why not? Let's just go down 0.0, let's try 0.03. There we go. And so you can see it now, okay? So that's a little bit better, so you can see that. Okay, so that's good for now. Let's show you how to hand it in. If I were in a if I were in a real environment, what we used to do in the old days is that I would actually send my magazine ad. I would send a InDesign file. I would send the pictures along with it, as well as the fonts. I would collect them all into one folder and send that. But we don't have to do that anymore. Right now, these days they send PDFs. So let's just go. I'm going to save my document and go File and Export. And we want to do it as a print PDF. The other ones may be your, like they might have interactive or something. Let's go, and we're just going to go call it S20. There we go. And then I'm just going to go Save. And we don't need to worry about these settings yet, but we will later when we do some of the other, like the poster, we'll have to change that. So the PDF has been saved. And just to point out, just to show you, let's throw this guy off to the side here. And so if I were to go File and Place, say I'm the guy in my magazine, and you've sent me this ad by a PDF, I would just go File and Place, and I would actually be able to import that ad like normal. Okay, and this is the ad that you have just sent the magazine person, and they would just place it in their magazine. Okay, that's how you do it. You don't have to do it. You just need to give me a PDF. Or actually, if you're putting it, and actually, sorry, when you actually, in order to put it on your website, you're going to have to do something else too. You're going to have to go. You're just going to have to open it up in Photoshop, and you're going to have to save it as a JPEG for your website. And that's something that we've never had to do before, but you are going to have to do. So you're just going to have to go to File and Mark it. There it is, at S20, and that. And it's just going to ask, you just open it up. Okay, so there it is there. Oh, it looks like I got a little bit extra there that I got to just trim off there. And then you'll just go Save As. Yeah, I do want you to crop. And then you do a better job. And then you save it as a JPEG to put on your website to show me. Sorry about that. Normally you would send it as a PDF to the person, but you just need to show me with your on your website. Okay, have a great day.